Well, big news, guys. British pound. It's doing all right, isn't it? 45 baht to a British pound. Not bad at all. It's going to make coming over to visit Thailand if you're coming from Blighty a little bit more pleasurable for you. Right, let's get the Herberts out. All right, Vivian, my dear. All right, love. Right then. All right, Doris. Yes, yes, yes. Toon's off to go and get some gatin. Lex off his feet today, so Toon already did one trip this morning, which she normally does anyway, but she's doing the afternoon trip. Oh, Onesies had her beans. Look at her go. Onesie, love. Turn. Turn. Good girl. Look at that. The goat whisperer. All right, Mimi. You hang back, girl. She's a little bit under the weather, Mimi. She's having shots nearly every day. Try and perk her up. You can see there's not a bloody pick on her. Run to the litter. Always been small. Never been strong. And not very parasite resistant, although she's not anemic. But yeah, she looks as rough as old what's-its. As I am today. Not that I look rough. Oh, hang on a minute. Got a bit of ground bait on the video. That wouldn't happen to a good vlogger, would it? Right. Going to be out a while with this lot, so I can't sit on the stones like Toon does. Lovely. Let's go, girl. We're well behind. Come on. Choppity chop chop. Yeah. Yeah, Toon can just plonk her backside down, which she normally sits on her flip-flops. But I nearly pop a hip out if I try and do that. So although they're going in the jungle right down the back today, I do like to keep an eye on them, certainly after seeing those 3 dogs a few weeks back that we managed to get on the video. Whew, still no rain. So much for the rainy season, eh? It's a ridiculous state of affairs. The old canal is dropping. No more dead fish since the last video, or the video prior to that, I think. So all good. Go on, Mimi, you keep going, girl. Bless her. Whew. So we've got about another month and a half to go, hopefully, before we sell our last lot of bucklings. We did have a woman contact Toon through the Facebook goat group. It's quite a big, well-known Facebook goat group here in Thailand, and well, there's several. And Toon just posted a few pictures or video on there that we're looking to get rid of a few does, get the numbers down. And she rang up and she said, "Yeah, I'm coming to Campang tomorrow. I'll come and have a look at your herd. Can you send us a video of them all?" So I legged it into the goat house, last knockings. Sent her the video and a few photos. She was like, yeah, great. 600 baht a goat, all right. No, bye. That's Toon. Bit blunt. So, no. Go on, Mimi. Keep going, girl. She can have Mimi for 600. That'd probably be double what she's worth. I shouldn't really say that when she can hear me. Go on, girl. Keep going. Look at the weather though, these dark skies. It's just consistent at the moment, just all day, every day. You can hear the thunder in the background, but we're not getting it. It does really remind me that we're just into the 2nd year of moving here, and we had a 6-month period without a single drop of rain. It was quite something. And yeah, it's got a hint of that about it. We've had the forecasts of big downpours and stuff like that, but at the moment we've only had 2 big drops, and it's a bit of a struggle. It's enough for the pastures to recover each time, but all right, you're doing my head in, Mimi. Go on, girl. Right, I'm gonna shut this gate. Down here yesterday with them all, and there was a few Mekongs milling around. You couldn't see them, but you could see the water pulsating where they were filter feeding. Come on, Mimi, don't hang around here. There's chuffle for you to eat here. She makes it such hard work for herself. A couple of 100 yards over there. She could fill her udder. Right then, let's move around. I popped on Facebook a pacu that I caught a couple of days ago, and they're becoming a bit of a pain, really. They're such voracious feeders that, and there's quite a few in here, and I caught a striped catfish just afterwards, and it was really lean, and it should have been about a 10-pound fish, which I know isn't big for a striped catfish, but they're still only about 2.5 years old here. Yeah, and it was probably about a 6-pound fish, but it should have been about 10 pounds. So yeah, I think certainly the Sawai are struggling competing with the pacu for the food, and we have got big plans, and that's what the video is really about. For end of this year, we're starting our black soldier fly larvae production, and we're looking at replacing all the other food that we throw into the lake with those. So I'm sure a lot of you are aware, and a few of you guys have suggested over the years that we should get into it, but you know, we just haven't had the time or the means. But come the end of the year, that situation will be changing, and yeah, we're gonna get into it, and hopefully we can get the goat to provide enough manure to continually feed the black soldier fly larvae, so it won't cost us anything in buying in food waste, which is probably the biggest issue. Yeah, from the systems I've seen, they don't take up that much room, and the startup cost isn't huge, but it's feeding the sods, and they certainly get through it. So yeah, with what we got now, 72 goats, another month and a half probably down to 60, and then it's going to go bouncing back up again. So by the end of the year, in all likelihood, we're going to have more than 100 goats or thereabouts. So it's a lot of goat poo, and it should be enough to feed the black soldier fly. So after a couple of weeks, they're big enough and fat enough to feed directly to the fish, or you can dehydrate them, so I presume they float then, and you can feed them that way. But I think we'll just launch them in as nature intended, launch them straight into the ponds. We've stocked our ponds near the house as well, so rather than giving them pellet, so I believe like the catfish finishing pellets are about 18% protein. The herbivore species pellet, I think Better Grow knocked that out at about 14% protein. Your black soldier fly larvae rocking at 40% protein. So yeah, we should see some pretty impressive growth rates if we can get the system up and running and provide enough of them for the lake. That's the idea anyway. Look at the pasture down here, fantastic. So the goats have had, this will be their 6th day in here. Only bring them out late afternoon while Toon or Leigh, nephew, is getting the gatin, and getting pretty much full up in here. And then by the time I get them back, the gatin's just about rocking up, and we can put that out. And then they're not fighting over it. You know, there's more than enough food for everyone. Everyone's full and milling around, playing, and it's so easy in comparison when it's bedtime. You know, they're ready to go in before it's even remotely dark, whereas before it's a bit of a goat chase getting them in. Yeah, a full goat is a happy goat. A happy goat makes a happy goat farmer. It means we can eat before dark. So yeah, we can our day we're clocking off half an hour earlier, but really I'm sort of like losing an hour out here with them, but it's no bad thing. Keeping an eye on these, and one more week in here and then they'll be in the big area. I also like to be out here with them and make sure they're not eating anything around the sides of the lake that they shouldn't be. So we haven't got any bananas around this side, but we have on the other side. So that'll up the ante a bit when we move them over there. Yeah, this will be their last season out on pasture around the back here. And then we're going to go full steam ahead and hopefully develop all the land at the back here the next dry season. That's the plan. And then Paw Pang Farm is complete. Where's that Mimi gone? Oh, she's gone back over there. Oh, pasture's still nice and tall, so they're not mowing it right down. Everything's bone dry this time of the afternoon. If we'd had any rain this morning, then no, they wouldn't have been coming out, and we'd have been cutting grass for them. It's good to see the kids out here for the first few days as well. Bit of an adventure. And on the slopes, they're all throwing shapes and doing twists and backflips and all that lot. It's great to see great to see the kids playing, that's for sure. Even managed to get Sergei on the phone video the other day. He was throwing some matrix shapes as well. So even the oldies sometimes cut loose and have a giggle. Brilliant. Yeah. This lot of panicking a bit. They can't see the main part of the herd over the back. That's good. If there's a dog around, the herd will let me know. Whew. It's so humid. So humid. I don't know the reason why today, but both Toon and I suffering from a splitting headache. We did have a couple of Leo last night, but nothing over the top. So wasn't that. I don't know. We had some cooked food from the local market. I don't know if there was something in that, but it just seems weird. Both our hay fevers have been playing up a little bit. My asthma's been playing up a bit. Not from the spraying. We didn't have any more spraying after that incident, so less said about that the better. And yeah, it's normally this time of year that I do suffer a little bit with my asthma from hay fever. Luckily it only sort of like lasts about 2 or 3 months of the year, and if it gets bad, we got some brilliant antihistamines. Just pop one of them in the evening and that sorts it out. A couple of extra puffs on the old Ventolin inhaler, we're good to go. But Toon, unfortunately, suffers a bit more than me. A couple of you have suggested different antihistamines treatments. Toon has tried one of them before, but yeah, she's even been to the hospital with it, and they've given her different stuff and even injections and things like that, but nothing seems to last for very long. Unfortunately, they seem to lose their effectiveness on it. Don't know why. Strange lass. We'll have a sit down and keep Mimi company. Oh, otherwise she won't eat. She'll just stand there crying. So needy. Bit like Toon, really. Right, get the old fluids in. So on top of developing the land around the back in the jungle there, the old Fangorn forest is pretty much hacked down now. Most of the eucalyptus is going to come out. The idea is to get Macro Man in there and design some raised areas with drainage canals all the way around the outside, or ditches rather, so we can hold back some water in the rain season whenever they might come, but also prevent or minimise the risk of flooding and trees, roots, drowning. All right, Mimi, do you mind, love? Some of you seem quite interested about having your own little speck, a designated area to grow certain trees, whether it might be fruit trees or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna push ahead with that. So we want to get the design sorted first, then say when we get the dry season, we can get the macro in there without it sinking and cutting up everywhere. We'll get it all done. We'll do some aerial shots and number everything up, and then say what certain areas would be suitable for, and then we'll put it up for grabs. Should be a little bit of fun, wouldn't it? We won't make it expensive or anything like that. Just yeah, if you've always fancied doing a bit of a farm, or interested to see what might work, or do something different on this land, it gives you an opportunity to have a bit of input, a bit more hands-on with Paw Pang Farm in the future. And yeah, you grow a tree, it's going to be here for a long time. We're not the sort of people that are going to chop it down unless it's eucalyptus. So yeah, very interested to see what you guys have got in mind, and I find it quite exciting. Moving on to the goats, I really want to get the goat numbers down as Toon and I are getting older, and appreciate a lot of you guys are considerably older than me and Toon, but because, you know, we have very little outside help here, and even when we're fortunate enough to get some farm stays here, you know, it's a big ask for someone to be able to do a full day's work here. There's very few that have actually been up to the task. Well, we could count them on one hand, really, and that's not having to dig at anyone else. It is such a hard going way of life out here. So yeah, we need to get the goat numbers down, and if we don't, then the goat house is going to burst. So by the new year, that is it. It's up to full capacity. We might have to use to convert the downstairs rooms as well. So fingers crossed that we can get some shifted. If they're only 600 baht a pop, we won't. We'll probably build another house. We will not let them go for that cheap. We've worked too hard for too long to let them go for ridiculously cheap price like that. I'd rather flipping give them away than someone get 600 baht. So we're not doing that either. Toon wouldn't let me. She's tight as anything. Probably didn't phrase that very well, did I? So yeah, goat numbers down. So more pasture planted. So less trips off site collecting food. We want to be able to cut it all and feed them here. And yeah, just make it a little bit more manageable, and a little bit more free time available to grow our vegetables and our fruits, things like that. And of course, the next thing is the palm nuts. Keep eating, Mimi. You got to chew it. There's no good just putting it in your mouth, girl. That's it. What a drama. Now she's finally shut up, I'll have a little mosey back over there. She'll probably have a lay down. She overheats quite quickly. She's you see that with a lot of the goats that have had a bit of a setback. You bring them, they want to come out with the herd, but they can't keep up. You know, they're pretty much there and the tongue's hanging out. So yeah, you can't do much other than sort of like make sure that they're in the shade, and that's about it really. They won't go back. They're just, goats do not like being alone, and that's why we never let anyone buy just one goat. Minimum of 2, preferably 3. And then they're happy. An unhappy goat, you wouldn't be happy. So yeah, I think the last one that we can talk about is the palm nuts. So they are just about all producing now. Not a huge amount, and that's why we're really giving them to the goats as a bit of a healthy, fatty booster for them. And the pacu in the lake as well, which hopefully I'm going to catch a few and eat a few. The only thing is Toon likes them, so she didn't want me to kill them and eat them, but I think I'm gonna try and convince her that they were deeply hooked and they weren't going to make it. So I reckon one a week, deeply hooked. We'll stick it on the barbecue. I quite like it when she smothers them in coarse sea salt and puts them on a low heat barbecue and just slowly roasts them on that. It's good. And then you peel the skin and the scales off and you got salty moist meat underneath. It's a cracking way to eat them. A lot of meat on pacu. I reckon, well, if we had a proper rainy season, we could probably start harvesting the palm nuts and selling them off. So yeah, we really need to get on top of that, and if we can reduce the goat numbers, that would give us the time that we need to start collecting more palm nuts. The birds get a lot of them, to be fair, so there is a bit of a wastage there. If they were like mature trees, 7 years, they sort of like reach their maximum production, then yeah, we'd be probably losing about, what did I work it out? At the current price is about 7,000 baht a month. That's what our trees should be producing when they're 7 years old. So we've got 50 trees. Yeah, so yeah, should be able to cut them twice a month, and we've certainly got enough goat poop for them. Well, they're the ideas. I think the only other thing, which may or may not happen, a few people have mentioned this, Thai people, local Thai people as well, including immigration officers, and they were asking, you know, what we do and what we're getting up to on the land. I think they were just sussing us out. And Toon told them, you know, well, we got farm stay set up, we got the goats and all that sort of thing, and a fishing lake. And they were like, oh, have you got any accommodation? We were like, well, we're not really supposed to on this land. And they were like, yes, you can. Bamboo temporary accommodation for guests, you can have that. So yeah, we could knock a few of those up, but they wouldn't have aircon. We are running on solar here, and bamboo doesn't last that long. I know we've got a lot of bamboo here, but I'm not sure about building something out of that bamboo. Although it is as hard as nails, it's not particularly straight. So maybe we look at something like raised, really robust built bamboo salas that you could put a really nice tent on there, and we get some nice tents. So maybe that's something that we look at, because we are getting now sort of our overlaps where people want to book, and we've already got farm stay guests in the village house accommodation. The only concern we've got is the rainy season. So unless you've been out here before, and we know for a fact that you're hard as nails and could hack it in a tent, we're sort of like apprehensive about that. So it might be just in the months where we haven't got the big electrical storms and the flash floods. We'd also have to carefully locate these areas for putting up tents as well. So it's something that Toon and I are going to do a standalone video about, regarding farm stays and the setup here. We've never really done one, which is quite bad considering it's a revenue stream for us. We've been quite lacking on that front. We've just been fortunate enough that you guys have got in touch with us and said, oh, I want to come and visit, what's the setup? So yeah, there's a minimal amount of information on our website. I have got a load of information saved on my phone, and I just copy and paste that to people that are sort of like putting the feelers out for the first time. So yeah, we'll do a complete standalone video for that. So if it's something that you're interested in, you know, you thought you might want to come and visit here, then look out for that one. It could be the next video, although I'm going to do a crayfish one, honest. That's it then. Take care as always, guys. Hopefully the audio hasn't been too bad, because it is quite breezy out here, but thank God it's not roasting, and hopefully Mimi hasn't collapsed with heat exhaustion. Now I can see her over there. She's still doing all right. Fingers crossed she's going to make it, and hopefully all of us are going to make it, eh? Take care.